1, 2. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 62 of the Commission's hearings. Please make sure that your cell phones are off and observe the red lines in the front on the aisles. Thanks. We're ready to start.
Good morning, Ms. Hassim.
Morning, Chair. Morning, Commissioners. Our witness today is Lieutenant General...
May we have your colleagues place themselves on record, please? Good morning. Oh, please start all over.
Again.
Please
Thank
start
you.
all over.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning. Estelle Killian from Johannesburg Bar, assisted by Ms. Ndiwe Makoba, instructed by Levitt attorneys. On behalf of General Subia.
Thank you, thank you. Yes, Ms. Hassim.
Thank you, Chair. The witness is Lieutenant General Shadrach Sabia, and he is present and ready to be sworn in.
To swear or to affirm. General, good morning. Good morning, General.
A very good morning to you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Chair.
Will you swear or will you affirm?
I will swear.
Do you swear that the evidence you're going to give is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? If so, please raise your right hand and say, "So help me God."
So help me God.
Thank you, General. Yes, Mr. Sim.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, you would have seen that there are quite a number of files that have been prepared for this witness.
Unfortunately, yes.
My apologies for that. But the good news is that we're not going to go through all of them today. We're going to begin with 3 files. And if I could just alert the commissioners and the witness as well as to the files that we're going to be referring to today.
Yes.
It will be file 1 of 10, which is the witness statement.
Yes.
It will be file 2 of 10, marked annexures.
Yes.
File 2A, which is supplementary annexures to statement, and file 3 of 10, which is marked annexures. So those are the bundles that the commissioners and the witness need to have at hand today. And the first file we will be referring to is file 1, which is the witness's statement. Good morning, General.
Good morning, Commissioners.
We have had a discussion already, and we've agreed that you will take the Commission through your statement. I will afford you the opportunity to go through your statement with minimal interruption. It's a 90-page statement, so we will ask you to, summarize where possible, but we want you to provide your version with minimal interruption. So that would be the plan as you and I have agreed. And if we could begin then, and your statement is divided into sections. Can we begin with, in very brief, your introductory section and your career path that you indicated you'd like to discuss.
Our experience, General, is that if a witness does not read but attempts to do what they consider to be summarizing, they end up being much longer than if they were reading the statement. I'm not suggesting that you should read. If you are able to summarize, the summary should really be a summary. But yeah, sometimes we've just preferred that a witness should read because they cannot summarize. But starting off with summarizing may be better, but we'll see as we progress.
Good. Let's see how it goes, Chair. Some aspects of the statement can just be read in. Thank you.
May I proceed, Commissioners?
Yes.
Thank you very much. First and foremost, Commissioners, I would like to thank the Commissioners for the opportunity to come and present my side of the story. And I'll be doing so honestly. Commissioners, how my statement has been drafted is that I will start with my career path, because to me this is what is important for the Commissioners and the country at large to know where I come from. And then from there, I will be talking about the labor disputes and investigations encountered that led to my dismissal from the Hawks initially, and my arrest for the alleged involvement in the rendition matter, and alleged fraudulent travel claims, and allegations of high treason and espionage against me, and public protector investigation that was conducted in the city of Joburg, and my suspension from SAPS following the disbandment of the PKTT. Now, for now, without any waste of time, I just want to shoot straight to my CV. I am currently employed by the South African Police Service, and I'm appointed as the Deputy National Commissioner, and I'm responsible for crime detection. Commissioners, I joined the South African Police Service on the 1st of June. In 1988, actually, I started as a student. In fact, I started as a official court interpreter in Rustenburg. And then I then applied to be a policeman whilst I was in court. Then I continued as a court orderly in court whilst I'm in the police. And then on the 1st of January 1989, I then went straight to college of the South African Police, where I passed out from the passing out parade on the 28th of June 1989. I grew up the ranks up until I was appointed as a commissioned officer, a captain at Interpol. I was appointed as a desk officer responsible for internationally missing and wanted persons. I also later resigned from the South African Police Service because I was appointed as a regional manager for security and investigation at Telkom. It was a senior position that let me go there. And then I started at the Western Cape region. And with my experience, with the work that I was doing there, I was then further sent to Bloemfontein so that I could also implement the same that was implemented in Cape Town. Then later, because Gauteng is the most problematic province of all the provinces in the country, I was then sent to Gauteng, where I pushed in Gauteng. Then in 2001, I joined the Directorate of Special Operations, the Scorpions, as a senior special investigator, and I was later placed at head office as a custodian of project in the DSO, especially responsible for the Eastern Cape. In 2004, April, I, together with Advocate Lebo Mdalane, I think she's now Masilela, who is now a judge. Advocate Maisela. We were sent to Bloemfontein to go and start a new office of the Scorpions. There was no Scorpions in Bloemfontein and Northern Cape, and together, me and her, we were sent there in a car to go and start a new office of the Scorpions, which we did. And then I was later in 2005 appointed as the chief special investigator there, and at the level of, today in the police they call it a brigadier, but at that level it was a chief special investigator on the side of the Scorpions. I have been involved in various investigations and the management of serious and complex financial investigations and serious corruption and serious organized crime. That is what we were doing at the Scorpions. These include forensic investigations in a variety of industries, which include the public sector, municipalities, parastatals, telecommunications, financial service, retail, mining, manufacturing, automobile, cross-border operations. All what I've mentioned, I've operated in that space. When the Eastern Cape province was hit by a spate of fraudulent and corrupt activities, that affected service delivery in the Eastern Cape province, the former President Thabo Mbeki instructed the National Department of Public Works and Administration to intervene. And I was one of the people who were sent there to actually lead the operations in the Eastern Cape. A multidisciplinary law enforcement team was established to investigate and prosecute cases of fraud and corruption within the public service. The Joint Anti-Corruption Task Team consisted of investigators from the National Intelligence, the then Scorpions, the National Prosecuting Authorities, SIU, Auditor General of South Africa, and CIRA. That was a multidisciplinary task team that was operating in the Eastern Cape, and I was part of the leaders there because I was the one managing investigations and operations. One of the highlights of my career is when I was invited to speak at the OECD Global Anti-Corruption and Integrity Forum career in Paris, in France. On the 27th of March 2018, I featured alongside dignitaries such as Mr. Robert Poeti, a Minister of Integrity in Public Procurement and Information Resources in Quebec, Canada, and Gustavo Ferrari, Minister of Justice for the province Buenos Aires in Argentina. Subsequent to the disbandment of the Scorpions...
Sorry, General, and I'm very sorry to interrupt. I appreciate that you want to dwell on your CV and you want to explain this. It's important to you. But I have noted that your CV is 18 pages long. You're on page 2. And if you were to continue at this pace throughout the rest of it, it might take some time. I wondered, and I don't want to stop you from explaining your background, but could you, instead of reading it in, just tell us what the highlights are?
Commissioners, I thought, together with the evidence leader, we agreed that my CV, where I come from, is important to me and to my career, and for the commissioners to know where I come from, and for the people of South Africa to know who's sitting here accounting in front of them. So to me, my CV, as I said earlier, even in the meeting, that my CV is very much crucial to explain where I come from. Now, the story that I was telling, commissioners, if you can see, is just one more page. The rest is just your relevant experience, your qualifications that are not really a story like the way it is. Some are courses. So I think the commissioner can just pay me.
May I come in then, General? If, as you say, you have one more page, yes, then we will allow you to continue. I'm sure you saw us whispering maybe about 3 minutes or so ago. We too were concerned about the detail into which you are going on the content of your CV.
Noted, Chair.
Yes, because I went through the summary in your statement, and I thought that does somewhat give one an idea of who you are and what your experience is. That much detail is taking up a lot of time. But if, as you say, it's just one more page, you may go ahead.
Thank you very much, Chair. I will skip some of the paragraphs or maybe some of the... But
thanks, General.
I want to say that Subsequent to the disbandment of the Scorpions in 2009, I was sent to head office of the newly Directorate Priority Crime Investigation Unit. And I was assigned to deal mostly with serious and violent crimes such as cash in transit and ATM bombings and bank robberies and truck hijacking. To an extent that I established a team called the Tactical Operations Management Section, which was later turned into a unit in the structure of the DPCI as we speak. That was the structure that I started as a task team, and then it operated throughout the country and later turned into a unit. It is at this point in time when we formed the Tactical Operation Management Team that I just spoke about. In 2010, I was appointed as the provincial head of the DPCI in Gauteng, as the Deputy Provincial Commissioner, and appointed as a Major General at that point in time. On the 8th of November 2016, I was employed by the City of Joburg, and then to establish the anti-corruption crime fighting department known as the Group Forensics Investigation Service. On the 1st of July 2022, I was then reinstated by the Labour Court because as I was working for the City of Joburg, this after I was dismissed from the South African Police Service illegally so, and then the Labour Appeal Court reappointed me or reinstated me. And then during this tenure, I managed to resuscitate the National Organized Crime Secretariat, and then so currently I'm appointed as a Deputy National Commissioner. Otherwise, following is just my relevant experience of official court being a court. This is what I've been talking about, how I came, all the positions that I occupied, and then academic qualifications, commissioners. I've got a national diploma in police administration that I obtained in 1996, and then I've got a BTech in policing that I obtained in 2008, and then I registered for masters, and I abandoned the studies in between the storm that I went through, and then I could not really handle different issues all at the same time. I ended up not proceeding with it. Now, this past year, my record is there. I do have a matric that I completed in 1986.
Sorry, General, just to clarify, you have a master's in criminal justice?
No, I said I don't have a master's in criminal. I said current
it's just
studies.
listed under academic qualifications. So
I said current studies.
Okay.
I don't say I have. I say I current studies is what I registered for, and the record is there as well.
No, that's fine. I'm just clarifying because on the CV it says academic qualifications, master's in criminal justice.
No, I think that's why we supplement.
That's fine. You've clarified. Thank you.
And then when you look at tertiary education, we say National Diploma Police Administration, the Technical SA, and BTech in policing as you go down. Now, the courses that I have, I've got a riot and crowd control course, which all the police officials, mainly that went to college, have to undergo. But of importance is the investigation course. That all the people that are accusing me, all of them, and that are investigating me, they don't have investigation course. All of them. Anybody who's been here to talk about me, they don't have this course. They've never been trained as detectives. Then they are not detectives. Sergeant course, okay, all the SWAT course organization and work that. I think the list is long. I've done money laundering course. I've been with the Scorpions and the NPA. I worked for the NPA as well. I'm trained as I investigate corruption, money laundering, organized crime, all those courses. Operations management course for senior managers. I've done all those courses. Work experience, I will skip, Chair, in terms of the job function, but in short, let me say my CV, this is what I've said. The rest is exactly those job functions in terms of those positions that I've occupied. And as we speak now, I'm appointed as the Deputy National Commissioner. I'm responsible for crime detection And as a Deputy National Commissioner, I signed a performance contract with the National Commissioner. And my job as a Deputy National Commissioner, firstly, I want to talk about the Deputy National Commissioner post, the responsibilities. And just to give a background of it, I do have a document here that says the background to the establishment of the post of Deputy National Commissioner. The Minister of Safety and Security, Mr. Sidney Mufamadi, determined the first scheme of the rationalization, reorganization, and consolidation of the South African Police Service. So the first Deputy National Commissioner were appointed by the National Commissioner with the approval of the Minister and the President. These posts were established to enable the National Commissioner to discharge his responsibilities, exercise his powers, and perform his functions and duties effectively. Now, the mandate of a Deputy National Commissioner, the responsibilities, powers, functions, and duties of the National Commissioners that are related to one of another and related to the same environment were grouped together in different groups in terms of the scheme. A Deputy National Commissioner was appointed in respect of each environment to discharge the responsibilities, exercise the powers, and perform the functions and duties of the National Commissioner on behalf of the National Commissioner in respect of the specific environment for which he or she was appointed, in accordance with the national policing policy determined by the Minister of Police and subject to any directions issued by the Minister of Police and subject to the command and control of the National Commissioner. Now, this binds even all the provincial commissioners, whatever that you do as a Deputy National Commissioner, it binds also the provincial commissioners for as long as you are in agreement with the National Commissioner and led by the National Commissioner. Now,
Sorry, General, before you proceed, let me check something. Ms. Hassim, I think General now said, I have a document in front of me, and I think that's what he was reading from. Do we have that in the files? Or is
We
it
don't
going
have
to,
that
Is it going to be
document.
handed in? What is its position?
Is that a document you wish to hand in to the Commission, General?
yes, that's correct.
Do you have copies for the Commission? Because I wasn't alerted to this document.
It will be in the bundle somewhere, but here is the copy that I want the commissioners to have, because it is very much crucial, because some of the responsibilities that we do, they do because you have a mandate to do them.
Or just a minute, General. Ms. Killian, the General thinks that the document possibly may be within one of the files. Do you know if it is?
As far as my knowledge is concerned, it is not in the supplementary, but we have provided a supplementary. We can correct that overnight.
Or you may, meaning you will add it into the supplementary. All right. And what's the last number or identifier that we have in the supplementary? Do we readily have that so that we may mark it right away?
It's SS 49.
49,
Yes.
yes. So this will be SS 50.
50.
Thank you.
Chair, I have been provided with a copy of the document, but I think it's best.
We may be given
I think
copies
so.
at a later stage.
Thank you.
Thank you. I stopped you. It wasn't quite mid-sentence, but you were in the middle of something. General, do you wish to continue?
What I want to just maybe ask guidance on, Chair. In fact, maybe it will be safe if I go through the statement, because if I don't go through the statement, I wanted to go to my responsibilities and the performance contract that I signed with the National Commissioner. Now, on the other hand, you may find that I'm going here just to be able to say these are my functions, but maybe perhaps it is very much important to read my statement and focus on it.
I think it's better that way.
Yeah, so
because,
that what-
For instance, when you deal with the quote-unquote points of contention later, you actually go into some detail as to what some of your functions are and so on and so on.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think it will be too much to go into the actual performance contract.
Thank you, Chair.
Please tell us
So
where you.
are you going to your statement now,
I
General?
think I'm
Okay.
focusing now on my statement, and then I've spoken about my career path, which is now on page 4. I'm gonna leave my run through, and then I wanna go straight to the labor dispute and investigation encountered dismissals by the Hawks in August 2015.
Before you begin that section, could you just explain to the Commission the relevance of this section? Why is it you felt it important to bring this to the attention of the Commission? What's the relevance for this Commission's mandate?
Commissioner and Chair, in one of the interviews by Lieutenant General Mukhonazi, he said General Sibia was fired by the police. And the same police, when he came back, they received him well, and then within a year they promoted him. I don't know what special thing he has done that led to him being promoted. So, and that is what led to me putting this paragraph together, considering the fact that when he speaks, he talks about, and he will say, most of you South Africans have forgotten that in 2011, now the 2011 that he's speaking about, I was approached by by General Lebeya, who was the former head of the Hawks. At that time, he was a deputy of General Dramat, the deputy national head of the Hawks. I was a provincial head in Gauteng. He came to me in possession of a newspaper article and a file and say, General Ndluli.
Ms. Hazim, I think we are taking up a lot of time. Don't you think the General should just go on with this section?
Chair, that's fine. It's not clear to me the relevance yet, but maybe if you could just read the section into the record.
Let's just go on with the section, General. I'm not being critical of the content of what you are saying, but I think we'll save a lot more time if we just get on with it.
This section that I'm talking about my dismissal, is the same story that I'm explaining. I'm in other words, I'm in my statement.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
I was allocated a matter to investigate that involved the then head of the Divisional Commissioner of Intelligence, wherein there were allegations that he's involved in murder or kidnapping and fraudulent activities, corruption within the crime intelligence. Now, I was then approached by head office to conduct an investigation that I investigated. I formed a multidisciplinary team. I approached the NPA and they supported me with the investigators, with prosecutors, and we investigated. And then as we were investigating, we experienced a situation where we were all targeted and ultimately removed from the police. It was myself, General Lebeya, General Dramat, even also General Kele was a commissioner of the police at that time. We all found ourselves outside because of that investigation. And we all went to different courts. We came back at our own time, depending on when the Labour Court finalized your matter. In my case, I was not involved in the rendition completely because it was a head office operation. The people that were arrested of the Zimbabwean who killed a Zimbabwean, a police officer in Zim and then ran into South Africa. crime intelligence at head office. They arrested all those people, and crime intelligence officials were given letter of commendations by their bosses for the job well done. But I was then later implicated to be the one who have given an instruction to arrest those people. So why it is important to mention this story is that what I went through at that time of the illegal rendition, ultimately finding myself out, commissioners, it was a shock in my life because it was the very first time I get suspended, very first time dismissed for something I was not involved. And I also submitted a statement to the Zondo Commission at that time. Witnesses lied. The judges in the cases, they say, but it was all lies. And General Ntlemeza, who fired me, was actually found by the court to have been an unreliable person who lacked honor and integrity, and was ultimately also removed and fired, and his rank taken as a result of that. Now, I got back to the police because the court reinstated me. And then I started working. And I was, because of the fact that already a person was now appointed at Gauteng, there was now a General Kadwa was now appointed in Gauteng. I just said to the police, to the National Commissioner, I don't mind to be placed anywhere. And then they said, okay, head office, organized crime component head of organized crime. I went there. I started pushing from organized crime side as a component head. I resuscitated the National Organized Crime Secretariat that deals with projects, wherein I said, we've got a lot of crime in the country. We've got organized crime, we've got commercial crime, we've got corruption in the municipalities. All I want you to do, I want to have a project in each and every sector that needs to be investigated. And I increased the project. When I came back, there were something like 27 projects to 74 projects, because every province, we call them every month to make sure that we have projects that are being registered in the respective environment that needs to be attended to. Be it drugs, drug cartel, taxi violence, whoever is involved, whether you're talking about all the environment where there is crime committed, especially that needs to be investigated in an organized fashion. We needed to open such projects. We did that. Then,
did these projects not already fall under some existing categories? I'm just trying to understand the need for increasing the number of projects.
The South African Police Service, is this how it functions, Commissioner, Chair? Is that the Directorate for Priority Crime Investigation is meant to investigate serious organized crime, serious corruption, serious commercial crime, crimes against the state and others. Now, they've got a particular threshold where they will say we can only take from this threshold, let's say 500,000 upwards. But you've got a lot of corruption, you've got a lot of crime that is committed that actually falls within their mandate, but because it is of a lower scale, it must have organized crime also in the South African police that will look into that level 1 to 3, DPCI level 3 to 5, where they focus on now on other layers, including international layers. Now that's the Directorate for Priority Crime Investigation. So from our side, we had to look into that. Where there is crime, where there's commercial crime, where you have illegal goods coming into the country, those were our responsibilities. But over and above, even though the DPCI is the one that must investigate according to their mandate, the National Commissioner is still responsible and accountable for crime in general throughout the country. He then will say, for an example, let me give an example of the cash in transit. The National Commissioner says there's so many cash in transit that are taking place in the country. and I have to account as the National Commissioner. And if we only focus on the DPCI and say they are the one who are doing it, and then we are all affected, then he will call a meeting where all of us sit together with the DPCI and us working together. So that's how we will get involved interchangeably in some of the project, Chairperson.
All right, please continue.
Yes. So now, I was then back into the system, and I pushed from my side in terms of my responsibilities. Then in 2023, the 1st of July, I was then promoted to the rank of Lieutenant General by the National Commissioner. My responsibilities now was to oversee the operations and the work of both crime detection. I have two divisional commissioners reporting to me, which is Lieutenant General Kumalo of Crime Intelligence and also Lieutenant General Sintumule of Detective and Forensics.
General, just to be clear, you have now moved off the section on labour disputes. Because I hear you talking about your current, for 2023 onwards. So have we moved on then from the section on labour disputes? Because I'm not sure what you're speaking to.
Maybe perhaps what I need to do is to go through my statement line by line so that I don't do mistakes.
That would be great. Thanks.
Yes, thanks.
And I think you've dealt with the rendition issue already in your explanation to the Commission. So perhaps you can start at paragraph 38.
Paragraph 38.
It's under the heading alleged fraudulent travel claims.
Perhaps before that, Ms. Asim, General, you were starting on what I think is in paragraph 16. Maybe just complete that, even if it means reading that paragraph into the record.
Paragraph 16.
Yeah, 16.
In July 2023, I was promoted to the rank of Lieutenant General and appointed as a Deputy National Commissioner for Crime Detection. In this capacity, I assumed overall command of Detective and Forensic Science Laboratories and Crime Intelligence. My appointment to this position placed me at the forefront of shaping and directing the operational framework for crime detection in the Republic, ensuring the alignment of policing strategies and national priorities and international best practice. It also underscored the continued confidence of the SAPs in my leadership and my ability to drive systemic improvement in the fight against crime. I attach here to a copy of my curriculum vitae and marked SS1 for ease of reference. We've dealt with my curriculum vitae.
Yes, thank you.
The labor dispute I've dealt with. Although here I've mentioned pertinent issues that I would want to, I've mentioned, although I've run through the arrest and the illegal rendition, but there were some important comments that were made by the judges in my matter to show that I was not involved and I was unfairly dismissed and targeted, and there was political interference. And when I talk about political interference, later I will mention where there is still political interference in what I'm going through now. And at that point in time, I need to also make sure that if I don't get that point, I hope the evidence leader will be of assistance there. Paragraph 38. Alleged fraudulent claims. What I want to highlight specifically in relation to the alleged fraudulent claims, as the crime intelligence were attempting very hard to get me out of the system, they realized that the illegal rendition matter is not working because I was not involved, and they could see that even the courts were clearing me. At the same time, I went through the same process I'm going through now they then introduced the illegal rendition of the fraudulent. They charged me for fraudulent kilometer claims. Now, the fraudulent kilometer claims that I was charged for, to give a short background, is that I had a car that I bought after I was promoted as a brigadier. And with the excitement, I went and I bought a BMW 330. It was a small car. But one day, a policeman was killed in Tembisa. And as the head of the Hawks, I had to attend the scene of crime. But that car was giving me challenges because the policeman was killed and left his body dumped on top of the mountain. So I could not go up there or deeper with the car because it was a very small car and it was struggling. Coming from that scene, I went straight to BMW where I bought the car and said, hey, where I work now, I'm expected to visit some of these things and this thing is not really helping me. Then there was a Porsche Cayenne parked outside. It's a second-hand car, very old. Then the owner said to me, don't you want to test drive this car and maybe check how it is, if you like it? It was within the price range because it has 74,000 kilometers. So the car that I bought, it was more than that. Then he said, maybe test drive this Porsche Cayenne, you may like it. Well, it was the first time getting into a Porsche Cayenne. And then I test drove that car that day. As I was on the freeway and I was testing it, I enjoyed it. The next day I said, I'm taking this car. Then I was driving that Porsche and it was beautiful, I liked it. Come the time when it had to go for service, because it was beyond 100, I said, no, it's still within the motor plan. I took it to Porsche, they fixed it and it needed more than 30,000 rand. I said, yes, but it's within a motor plan, it doesn't complete at 100,000. They said, no. Porsche is not how it works. The motor plan doesn't go with the car, it goes with the owner. This car you bought, it's yours. You have to find a way of paying. I then went to BMW and said, but you didn't tell me that because this thing doesn't reach 100, I don't even get the motor plan. Now they say I must pay this thing, but you didn't tell me. And then he tried to speak to them and the Porsche didn't agree. He then said to me, you know what? This Porsche is an expensive car. It's still going to give you challenges maybe here and there. Rather leave this thing. Go down there in the basements, look at the bigger cars, X5, X6, whatever that you may like to the price range. Then I went down and I looked and I chose one X6 within the price. It also had more than 80,000 kilometers. When a car is at that level, it's affordable. I chose that X6. Now, as I was driving this car, both cars, as I was just driving it and then from there change to X6. Now they see different kilometer claims that I'm submitting. One moment is Porsche, one moment is this. Then they charged me for fraudulent kilometer claim. They said, I said I was driving a Porsche, but I was driving an X6. And then they charged me for that. Then the magistrate asked a question and said, all right, you say you're charging this man for driving an X6, but he claimed for the X6 instead of for the Porsche Cayenne. Then he said, okay, which one has got a bigger engine capacity? Only to find out the Porsche Cayenne was a 5-liter, and then the X6 was a lower. It was a 3.5 liter. Then the magistrate said, so you're charging him for shooting himself on the foot that he claimed lesser than what he was supposed to claim. Then they couldn't answer. Then the magistrate asked the prosecutor and say, why did you charge this man? The prosecutor says, into the court record, that record is still there. He says, I know there's no case and there was no case, but I was instructed to put the matter in the court roll. Now that's how the magistrate said, you are released. Then that's how I was acquitted in that case. That's the fraudulent kilometer claim issue. So it's one of those cases. Now, I have to go to allegations of high treason.
Before that, General, I think under this topic, there's information that I think is important to put on record for completeness of what you are explaining. At paragraph 39, you speak about this from paragraph 38 up to 41. In paragraph 39, you do state that these charges that were finally brought against you were a product of a complaint or allegations by somebody. Maybe you need to put that on record. Paragraph 39?
Despite this, a criminal docket for fraud and corruption was later opened against me in March 2015, based on allegations made by Mr. Imran Bhatt, an individual implicated in organized crime and human trafficking, whom I have previously investigated while serving as head office of the Hawks in Gauteng.
So this person, Imran Bhatt, is a civilian or is a member of the police?
It's a Pakistani national who's involved in human trafficking.
Okay, but not a police officer?
It's not a police officer.
Okay, and then in paragraph 40, you say what period these allegations or this story about fraudulent travel claims relate to. Maybe you should put that on record, what period we are talking about. You do say in the first line.
I said, additionally, in February 2016,
Yes.
I was arrested and charged with 5 counts of fraud. The charges were premised on the above fraud and corruption docket, as well as claims that I had corruptly acquired a BMW and had submitted fraudulent travel and petrol claims.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Unless you think the rest of it is important, you want to put it on record, but I just wanted the date to be on record.
Yes, and it also reminded me of the fact that they were actually alleging that this car was actually bought for me by a person who was supposed to have been charged for poaching. They said the money was paid by someone for me to buy this car. They then went, same crime intelligence went to BMW. I've got a whole file where they went and obtained statement to check how I procured or how I purchased the car. They found that from day one, I applied for finance. I paid the car, no deposit was ever paid, no any other money paid into the bank or BMW. I've been paying for this car until I changed it. So that is one of the key things that I wanted to mention. The same applies to what I'm going through is just history repeating itself, because I'll be taking the commissioners through and say, as I'm taking to you, as they say, they will talk about it. 2 million here. Let's look at all the bonds that I have, and you tell me where there's 2 million paid where. So I just want to go step by step.
No, General, I know that I interrupted you. You were moving to discuss high treason and espionage allegations against you. I just wanted clarification on those 2 issues. You may proceed.
During December 2016, the former Gauteng of the Hawks, Major General Prince Mukotedi, made a statement under oath in which he alleged that I, together with several other individuals, was implicated in offenses of high treason and espionage. These allegations were purported based on a so-called top-secret intelligence report, which he claimed to have received around April 2016. The report allegedly implicated me, Mr. Paul O'Sullivan, Mr. Robert McBride, Ms. Candice Coutier, and other unidentified persons said to be associated with AfriForum and the Democratic Alliance. The intelligence report concerned was highly questionable. Now, according to General Mukotedi, a meeting allegedly took place on the 3rd of December 2016 at a property previously owned by a convicted criminal, during which it was purported discussed that certain senior officials and individuals supportive of the former President Jacob Zuma would be targeted through false criminal investigations and a coordinated media campaign designed to discredit them. It was further alleged that pressure would be placed on politicians to remove certain senior officials from office. that damaging information concerning President Zuma's son would be used to mobilize public pressure, and that these actions would culminate in an Arab Spring-type uprising intended to destabilize the country and force the resignation of President Zuma. On this basis, General Mukodedi concluded, this present moment, same modus operandi, I'm a Big Five or member of the Big Five. I just want to remind the commissioners constantly that I went through this from intelligence, these allegations, this modus operandi, same allegations, same way. So I'll continue. To substantiate this, is paragraph 44.
Paragraph 44, yes.
To substantiate these claims, General Mukodedi relied on the same purported intelligence report to allege, among other things, that plans existed to assassinate senior police officials, including General Ndlemeza, using foreign nationals who would then flee the country. These allegations were said to have resulted in security threat assessment and the provisions of VIP protection to certain individuals. It was also alleged that President Zuma and his son were deliberately included as targets in order to secure political backing for the arrest and prosecution on charges of including high treason. The allegations contained in General Mukodedi's statement were demonstrably false, inherently impossible.